Hi and welcome to this crochet stitch tutorial. I'm Jonna and I'm going to teach you step by step how this crochet stitch is done. If you really love what I'm doing here, please subscribe to my channel, and if you love what I'm doing even more, please subscribe to my newsletters where I got the link below here. And happy crocheting! Hi and welcome to this tutorial for the quick bubble pattern. It's a crochet stitch that I've used for a couple of projects now, and it's a alteration of a stitch called the Bubblepattern, which I will link to below. It can be used for many purposes and it gives great texture, so I really love it. So to start off here, I have made 10 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just to show you, I've done this in the foundation single crochet stitch. I'll link to that stitch below as well, because it's going to give a stretchy bottom for the stitch, which I love. And I'm using the lime brand yarn Wool is Chunky for this tutorial, and also a 8mm crochet hook from Knit Pro. Linking to both below. So let's dive into this stitch. So to make the edges most beautiful, I don't do any chains when I start this stitch, but I go into the first stitch right here. So I go through and I pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the same stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through all 4 loops on the hook. Next step, going through the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop from the same stitch, yarn over and go through all 4. So I've made 2 quick bubble patterns here, repeating for the third one. Go through here and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through and pull up a loop. I have 4 loops on hook now, yarn over and go through all 4 loops on the hook. I'll repeat that, go through, I have 4 loops, yarn over and go through all. Repeating again, go through here, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 4 loops on the hook. Repeating. I'm going to be quiet and do it for the rest of the row, slowly. You can see my yarn is moving after me here. So I have 2 left, go through, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through, and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through all loops. And the last one is done in the chain from the beginning of the row. This is often a little bit tight because foundation single crochet stitches and the loops there can be tight, but when you continue this you won't do any chains, so that won't be a problem. So I've done 10 quick bubble pattern stitches here. You can see them here. So if you're going to repeat for another row, you don't need any chains, as I said. You just go through here, the last stitch you made, and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull up a loop once more, yarn over and go through all 3. Repeating across. So essentially no complexity here, because you're not going to do any chains. You're going to do 1 in each stitch. You can repeat it as many times as you like. You can mix it up, you can play with colors, so it's a lot that you can do with this stitch, and it's just like a great alteration to get texture for any pattern. So I really love it. It's a quick stitch as well, so I'm just going to continue until the end of the row so you can see how 2 rows look. It's going to look a little bit different on each side. So a little bit bigger on one side and a little bit smaller. So this is the first one I made. It looks like a normal stitch, so no chains. And I made 2 rows. So this is how it's going to look. You can see the bubbles on the first row looks a little bit bigger, and the ones on the second row looks a little bit smaller. But if I turn around, it's opposite. So the top one looks a little bit bigger, and the ones on the bottom look smaller. So it's going to change like this for each row. So it's essentially how it's going to look after you've finished 2 rows of the quick bubble pattern. So I really hope you enjoy the stitch. I want to link to a couple of tutorials, or I mean crochet patterns where I'll actually use this one. And happy crocheting!